What to do when you feel like you're behind in life? I think that even some of the people who are high achievers or who have achieved a lot at a younger age, I think even they feel that way sometimes. I think the first thing that you should do, and something that I've done, so that's why I can speak on this, is ask yourself where you're getting that information from. Like, why do you feel that way? Why do you feel like you're behind in life? Because obviously there must be some type of idea that you're supposed to be at a different place. Where does that idea come from? We have to understand that since the day we were born, we were compared to others. That's what they do with babies, just naturally. Babies, crawl on their stomach at this age. If your baby don't do that, you should be alarmed. Babies crawl at this age. If your baby isn't walking or talking by a certain time, you should be alarmed. When we put kids in school, when we were in school, you should be learning cursive at this age. You should be learning fractions and division. And if you do not know these things, if these things are not coming easy for you, then there has to be a problem. It should be a red flag. So we are, from the time we come into this world, treated like robots in a sense. And the same thing is true in high school. In high school, like, it's a little bit of a different system. You don't get held back, but you don't have all your credits. You can't graduate with your class. You're not on track. Right after high school, you have college. That's usually where people go if they want to be somebody. There's a track for that. College is just 4 years. Are you going to take 5? Oh my God, if you take 5, you're a loser. So we are put on this track of comparison. Now, some of us are like obviously comparing ourselves, like, oh my gosh, she did this, oh my God, oh my God. And then some of us, we think we're not comparing ourselves, but we are, because you can't help but look around and see what your peers are doing, and you're taking that in. And if you're not intentionally filtering it out, then you're taking it in. So that's why I say, where are these messages coming from? Okay. And so if you feel like I'm behind in life, that's one reason why you have to isolate, because you have to filter out the noise. When we're going through a depression or like a moment of vulnerability, that's the key word, vulnerability. We're very vulnerable to outside influences, especially negativity, especially things that's going to feed that script that we're already telling ourselves. So mind you, if you came from childhood trauma, you already had parents that were negative, or people talking down to you, getting bullied and things like that. So you're already pretty negative on yourself. And if you already have this idea that I'm behind in life, well, that's a negative perspective. So you need to try now to eliminate as much negativity from around you as possible. Now, this may not be obvious negativity. This could be just your mom saying, hey, when am I going to get some grandkids? Or like, your sister being like, you should go to school for nursing. Like, it could be something as casual as that, where those people, they don't think they're trying to hurt you. They love you, but they're just asking, and you just got to answer. And so that's just a hypothetical example, but there's so many others. Maybe it could be like you watching Instagram and watching other people's reels of their lives and things that they're doing, and maybe everyone in your feed has a family, or everyone in your feed has finished school, or everyone in your feed is like the director of some big company. Maybe a dream that you had to be a director, or to be a supervisor, or to own some property or buy some land. Maybe you know somebody who's 26 and just bought land. So that can make you feel like, dang, I was on that track, or if I had only done this, then I would be there. So that's why I say you have to filter. You have to filter. That's like, guys, there's really no way around that part. I don't believe. You have to start to filter things out. You have to set boundaries with people. You have to let them know what conversations you're not going to be a part of, what questions they don't get to ask you, what things you're not going to answer. And then you also have to understand that just like we're having this conversation now, and I'm saying, hey, you've been put on this little wheel, this little track wheel of, oh, you're a robot and we're all on the same page and we all need to move at the same time. They have too. Right now, you're trying to break free from it, but they're not. Most people are not. Most people are going to go with the flow. You're the one challenging the system. I'm the one challenging the system. So at the end of the day, since we're the problem, we need to remove ourselves from the folks that are putting that type of pressure on us until we're strong enough to come back around those folks and say, hey, I'm not anybody's pet. I'm not anybody's robot. I'm not on this rat race of life. I'm not in a rush to get to where I need to be. I'm right where I need to be. When you're strong enough to say that, then you can come back around those folks. You can allow those folks to re-enter your space and things like that. But you may have to gently remind them from time to time who you are and what you stand for. Another tip I want to give is getting your values and principles in shape. If you value money over everything, then obviously not having money is going to make you feel like crap. But if you value God over everything, then you can have no money and feel great because you got God. So it's something as simple as, what's your blueprint for life? What are your values? What do you believe to be true? And some of you don't know. So sit down and talk to yourself and ask yourself these questions. Like literally, like I'm sitting in the car talking to my phone. Talk to your phone. You ain't got to post it, but talk to your phone. Talk out loud. Get these thoughts out, because in high school and like in college, they don't have, like, for the most part, there's not classes like this, like classes that are like, what's your values and da-da-da. It's like very rare you probably would have somebody to be like, I had a class like that. For the most part, we don't have classes talking about purpose and identity and who you are as an individual. You might hear Socrates and Plato and what they thought purpose and identity was, but you don't really have a class that just allows you or helps you or aids you or supports you while you explore these things. Usually when we start thinking about these things, it's because we've hit a roadblock, a very massive roadblock, and we've been called into like a spiritual journey. That's when we start thinking about these things. So for some of us, it could be late. For me, it has been late in life where I start to consider these things. Anyway, I'm getting off track of what I wanted to say. So you definitely need to, like I said, first clear the noise. Understand where you're getting this type of idea from. Understand that most people are going to fall for the okie doke and you're not trying to fall for the okie doke. Get clear on what your values are. Understand what a value is. What do you think is important in life? What is guiding you? What do you want to guide you? What's currently guiding you now, even if you don't want it to guide you? How can you stop? How can you change these values? How can you become more intentional about the things that matter to you in life? I'll give you an example. I've always said, I want to be a millionaire. I want to be a millionaire. That was something that was really important to me. And then during my spiritual journey, I realized that as a Christian woman, a serious, devout Christian woman who loves God, I need to love him more than anything. With that being said, if he does not want me to be a millionaire, if that is not in the cards for me, will I be okay? The answer has to be yes. If I'm not okay, I need to let God know, like, hey, I'm upset. And I need to work that out with him, because he is king and ruler over my life. I am submitted to him. I belong to him. So therefore, I cannot want anything more than I want him. And that's the attitude that you have to have. That's the attitude that he wants us to have. God is a very jealous God. He doesn't want us wanting money or education more than him. And some of us don't even realize that we do want those things more than him. We desperately want those things more than him. We say we don't, but we do. It's evident in our behavior. It's evident in what, that's like right now, let's say you and your boyfriend or you and your girlfriend are talking about y'all exes. And then all of a sudden your partner, they start crying over their ex. Or they start like yelling about something that their ex did as they're telling you a story. Triggered. Babe, why are you triggered by your ex if you say you over her? Oh, I'm over her. I'm over her. No, you're not. The proof is in the pudding. The proof is in how you're acting right now, how you're triggered, how you're so passionate right now. You're not over that person. And so it's the same thing with God. Like we could be like, oh, I love you, God. I love you, God. But then when we can't pay our bills, or when money is tight, or when we're longing for something and we're sad and we're crying, it's like, okay, have you cried like that over Jesus? You know, and I'm not saying this to shame nobody, because this is the stuff I tell myself to check myself and to check my heart. Because out of the heart is what flows that matters to you. Out of the heart, you speak things into existence. What am I speaking into existence? What am I storing in here? Is it cleaned out? Does God sit on the throne in my heart? I know God is going to bless me with everything I want, then some. But even if he don't, will I still follow him? Let's say if I knew for a fact, you know what I mean? I knew for a fact that I wouldn't get the things that I wanted out of life. Would I still serve him? The answer has to be yes, because I want to spend eternity with him. So back on track. So for me, as you can see, my spirituality guides me a lot. Whenever I get shaky, whenever I start to get overwhelmed, or I start to get teary-eyed, or I'm comparing myself to others, I bring it back to my God, because I know that's not what he wants for me. I know that that's the enemy trying to set me up. And I realize we all have different purposes in life, and those purposes are unlocked at different times in life. So when you guys get clear on your value system, your principle system, your spirituality, your connection to the higher power, Jesus Christ, when you get serious about those things, things start to unlock, especially when it comes to the direction for your life. So I can still sometimes, and I'm working on it, be self-conscious about some of the things I don't have in comparison to others, or having to explain to someone, I don't have my own place, I don't have a car. But at the same time, I know I have something greater than that. I have God in my heart, and it's taken a long time for him to get in my heart for real, for real. And it's still a process, because like walking with God is a daily, one day at a time type of journey. Sorry guys, that was a call. So I'll be wrapping this video up in a second, but that's just something that that's just something that I really wanted to share with you guys. I just want to encourage you guys not to compare yourselves to others. At the end of the day, we're all on a unique path. God has carved out, he's planned and purposed each one of us for something specific. So I would encourage you to go to the Creator and find out, where am I supposed to be? What am I supposed to be doing? Spend the majority of your time talking to him about it. And that's what I'm trying to do as well. Spend more of my time going to him, talking to him, sitting with him, than I do just exploring random things and trying to figure stuff out. Because I'll be like the people in the wilderness in this spot for another 40 years. And I'm not trying to do that. Ooh, I almost dropped my coffee. So that's really, really important, guys, to quiet the noise around you, get clear on your values, stop comparing yourselves to others, unlock your identity through Christ. Get yourself a spiritual practice, one step at a time, not asking you to, you know, become saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Spirit overnight. You know, if that's not something that's in your heart, you know, maybe it just starts by reading the Bible. Maybe it just starts by journaling. Or something that I like to do is I like to journal my prayers. It's easier for me to pray to God by writing him a note, writing him a letter, than it is all the time by talking, because I can get very distracted. So the writing keeps me on track. So it's different for everyone, you know. Find your connection to the higher power. Find your connection to God. And sorry for all of this noise, but find your connection to God. And I think that the more you get closer to him, the less that you will feel behind in life, and the more you will understand that you're right where you need to be.